Let's look at the
Let's do
World
it.
Series.
The Yankees and Dodgers are going to play in the World
Yeah, they
Series.
are.
Fun facts. Let's go through some fun facts. The Yankees and Dodgers have played each other more in the postseason than any other two franchises. They've done so 11 times. The Yankees have won 8 of these matchups in the World Series. Los Angeles won the last matchup in 1981. They did so in 6 games. The two teams combined for a total of 34 World Series championships. That's a lot.
It is a lot. It's
That's a
very
lot.
lopsided, though.
Yeah. This is the 13th time. This is so cool to me. This is the 13th time number 1 seed teams have met in the World Series since 1969, which is when the divisional era began. And the last time this happened was 2020 when the Dodgers beat the Rays in 6 games. But the last time, obviously shortened season, the last time it happened in a full season was in 2013 when the Red Sox famously beat the Cardinals in 6 games. So it's been a long time coming.
It has
been a
been
decade.
So here's something interesting about the last time these two teams met, though. So they met in 1981, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The Dodgers had those great teams in the 80s, went on and won in 88 for sure.
Yep.
But the next time the Yankees made the playoffs after this 81 season, Brig, was not until 95.
I was going to say 95.
But
And
since that 95 season, the Yankees have had some sustained greatness and have made it to the playoffs, won a few World Series during that time. The Dodgers, on the other hand, have kind of been peppered with some success until the last decade, really,
yeah,
when they've been completely dominant in the NL West with, what's this, their 5th World Series appearance?
yeah, something like
I
that. In a
lost track.
decade, yeah. I lost track.
Yeah.
I know they're
Um,
like 7 in a row NLCS appearances or something like that.
yeah, I'm going to go double check it real
You
quick
should
just to
double
make sure we
check.
have it accurate. Accuracy, Brig. Very
I know.
important. So they have made the playoffs every year since 2013. They have 1, 2, 3. This is their 4th World Series fourth
Appointment.
World Series appointment. Yes, appearance since then.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
amazing.
it
Since then,
is. It is
appointments.
amazing.
And it
Yep.
is an
The
appointment.
and the only time they didn't win the division was since 2013 was in 2021.
Yep. Yep. So let's talk about the Dodgers.
Sustained greatness.
They have 26 pennants. Their last World Series title was in the COVID shortened season of 2020. The last full season championship came in 1988. Key players this time are Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Frederick Freeman, and Yamamoto. But Freddie is injured and grinding it out. Boy, that guy is tough as nails. I
He
can't.
is. He didn't. So he didn't start Game 6,
Mm-hmm.
and my son actually we were sitting there watching. He's like, "Why isn't Freddie Freeman playing?" I was like, "Because he is injured, is why."
Yep.
So I was like, "He's like, so is he not going to play at all?" I was like, "No, I don't think he's entirely unavailable. I think what the situation is, I think what they're doing is if they need a pinch hitter, they bring him in, but
Yep.
then he gets on base, he immediately comes out for a pinch runner. But here's the thing, though, is guys to watch." Role players. I mean, I don't know how much of a role player Max Muncy is these days because he's been so good. But it's like
Yeah.
when do you feel like you need to pinch hit Max Muncy for Freddie Freeman?
Right.
I don't know that you ever do.
Yeah. Well,
So we're
Muncy
good.
in the postseason, 8 runs on 8 hits, 1 double, 3 homers, 5 RBIs, 18 total bases on with 12 walks and only 10 strikeouts. He's batting .242 with an OPS of 1014. Is Max Muncy?
Yeah, Max Muncy has been absolutely amazing. And this is the thing: is maybe you pinch hit Anthony Rizzo for
No,
Chris Taylor
Frederick Freeman,
potentially.
not Rizzo. Freeman.
That's what I meant. Yeah, you're right. I was
Yeah, they're 2
Those two are
injured first basemen.
infinitely connected in
They
my
are
mind. Those
with the
two.
Frederick rundown.
Well,
Yeah,
just same position,
Yeah.
they have the same, like, exact same build. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
bonkers. Those two might
I
as well
know.
be brothers to me.
I,
But
I agree.
but the one guy who I have in my mind, who I'm like, maybe you would pinch hit for Andy Pies, maybe,
Sure.
but he had a 2 home run game in the NLCS, so you probably don't want to still, because the dude can rake,
He
right? The dude
can.
can mash. So, but then Kevin Kiermaier pinch hit for him, or came in for him. I'm assuming it was a defensive replacement in Game 6. So it's like,
Yeah.
you have other guys you can put in there. So is Freddie Freeman a break glass in case of emergency situation? I don't know, because the Dodgers are super duper deep.
They are, and it's really well balanced. When you look at
Mm-hmm.
total bases, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their players, only 5 have sub double digit total bases this
And one of them
season,
is Freddie Freeman, and that's because he's
and
been
one of
injured.
them's Freddie. Yep.
He's taken
So
them one at a time.
Freddie has 1 hit or 1 run on 7 hits this postseason. He's responsible for 1 RBI, 7 total bases. He struck out 6 times. He's currently batting .219 with an OPS of a measly .461. And here's what kills me: he's got a stolen base this postseason.
He's probably the back end of a double steal. Let's be real.
Yeah, exactly. But he's one of the only guys that is, I would say, underperforming, though given his injury situation, he is producing above the standard. He is exceeding expectations given what he's going through. The other guys with fewer than double digit total bases are Gavin Lux with 8, Chris Taylor has 3, Rojas has 2, and Kiermaier has 0. But
Kevin
Kiermaier has
Kiermaier only
0
has
everything's.
2 at bats, so
Yeah, he's got
cut
0
him some
almost everything.
slack.
Yeah. I will not.
But
Your
I mean,
strikeout
really though,
leaders.
like, go ahead with the strikeout.
Strikeout leader is really interesting to me. Shohei Ohtani leads the team in strikeouts with 17 this postseason.
Because he hasn't been hitting with nobody on base, which is weird given the fact that he's your leadoff guy.
It's bizarre, man. It's totally bizarre. It's like go for broke with him most of the time. He has 12 hits. Tommy Edman has 15. Tommy Edman coming out of literally nowhere, it feels like. I mean, I know he's been a contributor, but this guy is in a new level.
Finally healthy. I think he's finally healthy is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because he came back from that, what was it, a wrist injury?
Something like that.
Yeah, he came back from some kind of injury, and I think what it is it, because sometimes it takes a little bit to get back to where you need to be after something like that. And I think he's there. So this is what I was wondering. So do we just look at Tommy Edman's numbers and be like, yeah, that's Miguel Vargas's contribution to this team?
Yeah. Yes. Give that man a ring if he gets. Give him an NLCS ring.
Tommy Edman went yard the other day, and I was like, "Hey, that's a Miguel Vargas home run right there."
Yeah, or not, given the substitution.
Right, the upgrade.
Yeah, it's definitely an upgrade. Hit leaders, though: Edman 15, Mookie Betts 13, Shohei Ohtani 12, and then Kike Hernandez has 10. Everybody else is single digits. That's pretty good. In that same line, Tommy Edman's averaging 341, Betts 295, Ohtani 286, and Kike is 303. For me, Kike Hernandez has been that quiet. I don't know if you can mix quiet and juggernaut, but he has been pretty dang consistent.
So the thing about Kike Hernandez, I feel like, is you just have to get him on a team that gets to the playoffs. It's right. For him, it's just like, get me to the playoffs. You got everybody else carry the heavy load. I'll carry a heavy load once we get there, but get me there, and I will turn it on for you, because that's what he does. Yeah. Especially with the Dodgers. I don't know what it is about that guy in a Dodger uniform, but when he's in the playoffs, he's a monster. And freaking Kike Hernandez is like giving you problems because you're trying to take care of Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, and even a hobbled Freddie Freeman.
Right. And Muncy.
And apparently Max Muncy. Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah. It's like,
oh, man. I thought Max Muncy was done.
What do you do?
I thought Muncy was done.
Was done too. Yeah, I
I
thought his
didn't.
injury this year that was going to be the end of it.
Me
But
too.
no,
I thought this
he's
is
back.
completely unexpected. Home run leaders, they've got 20. Let's get into these details we wrote down, okay? Because we got a whole bunch of notes here.
Go for it.
Well, let's talk about Teoscar Hernandez though for a minute, because Teoscar Hernandez has also been contributing despite only having 2 home runs and batting 200 with a 690 OPS. I feel like he has come through in some major clutch moments.
He has. He has not been there for them really the last 2 games. He struggled the last couple of games, but early on, he was a dude for them. 16
Yep.
total bases, 10 hits. I mean, that's pretty dang good. 303. Oh, that's sorry. I'm looking at the wrong Hernandez there.
Yeah,
14
7
total
runs
bases
on 8
though.
hits. Yeah. And he's working walks. That's the thing. He's got 9 walks. Wow, 13 strikeouts. That's
That's what he
number
does.
3 on the
That's what he does
list.
though.
I know.
Yeah, he still strikes out, but the fact that he has 9 walks, that shocks me as somebody who watched him play
Yeah.
pretty much every day last year.
You did. Yeah, you really did, huh? So
Yep.
I think it's no surprise that the Dodgers' edge will be in offense. They are explosive. They're dangerous. They run the bases well. I feel like there are very few base running mistakes, which is a contrast, and we'll get into that in a minute. They had 46 total runs over the 6 games in the NLCS. That's 7.67 runs per game. That is good enough to get it done in almost every situation. Now,
Feels like it.
Now, pitching obviously plays a role in that, and their opposition. But and that's the thing they're lacking, is their starting pitching is kind of shaky, held together with twine, I think is what you said. But they got the duct tape and the twine in the right spots a couple
Yeah,
of
duct
times.
tape. I said duct tape and zip ties, but I think twine is more likely sometimes. Because this is the thing that's crazy. They're running a 3-man rotation right now. 3 starting
Right.
pitchers with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. His
Yamamoto.
ERA is 5.11. Walker Buehler
Mhm.
has a 2024 postseason ERA of 6. Jack Flaherty has a postseason ERA this year of 7.04. That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
So those 7.67 runs per game, they need every. I mean, they haven't because the bullpen's been good, but it
Right.
feels like they're going to need every bit of it.
They are going to need every bit of their bullpen. They're guess how many quality starts they've secured this postseason?
The postseason, I'm going to say 2.
1.
1.
They have 1 quality start. It goes to Flaherty.
Because he had one
That's
good outing.
bad. That's bad.
It is bad.
I don't care who you are. That's bad. And that's something the Yankees are going to need to capitalize on if they're going to want to do anything positive.
So here's kind of been the solution to that 3-man rotation that they're running, though, is they go with a bullpen day, which, like, obviously worked out well against the Padres in Game 5 of the NLDS. Like, I was shocked by that.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to go well. Or maybe it was Game 4. I think it was Game 4.
I don't remember.
It went way better than I thought it was going to.
Oh, yeah,
and
it was Game 4.
Obviously worked out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they went with a bullpen game again in Game 6 of the NLCS.
I know.
Started Michael Kopech, who has a 1.69 ERA, 1 start, 6 total appearances this postseason. Granted, he's thrown a third of the innings of Flaherty, who is the innings leader this postseason. He's thrown 150 fewer pitches, but still, I think Kopech is your starter on your bullpen day.
He's going to have to
throw him out there.
He's going to have to be, because I don't know who else you're going to put out there. We've got, I mean,
Brazier can do it. Brazier can do it. He started a couple of those
True.
bullpen days. But my thing is that the Dodgers are so good at jumping out early that if you can shut down the Yankees early and then get out to an early lead, I think that helps things a lot.
It's going to help things a lot. When the Yankees can jump out to an early lead, they do really well. I feel like the Yankees' offensive capabilities go up and down. There are, it seems like, hours of quality at-bats with no production or a bunch of strikeouts. That's how it goes in the middle of the games, and then you'll get like a 4th or 5th inning explosion, and then it's over until their backs are against the wall and they need more. That's kind of what we saw against Cleveland repeatedly. And that's because the lineup is so imbalanced, but we're still talking about the Dodgers. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
So here are some home stats, because they're going to play home and away. So we've got home and away splits right here. And these are just postseason numbers. Teams batting overall at home, 234, 339, 362. They've got a 701 OPS collectively. They've worked 30 total walks. They've had surprisingly, only 7 home runs, accounting for 33 total runs. Only 7 of them have been bombs.
They don't rely on it. They don't rely on the home
No.
run. I think that's going to be huge for them.
It is. It's going to
The
be
home
absolutely
runs feel like
huge.
they're gravy with the Dodgers.
Their pitching stats at home, team ERA collectively 4.50. Again, these are just postseason numbers. 7 2/3 strikeouts per 9, 1.13 whip, and 54 total innings pitched.
That's just 7.2 because it can be 7.5. So 7.2.
7.2. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Strikeouts per 9.
I was thinking of innings pitched. Yeah, 7.2 strikeouts per 9. Now that's at home. Their away stats, and some of this gets really interesting because it is more balanced than I thought it would be. Batting away, 268, 363, 508, and 871 collective OPS. 25 walks, 13 home runs this postseason in away games, and 37 total runs. Pitching away this postseason, team ERA 4.19, 7.7 Ks per 9, 133 whip, 1.33 whip, and a 43 total innings pitched. I was not surprised, or I was very surprised to see how level that turned out to be.
It is pretty level. I think that part of the reason you see some of those numbers, like slug is higher on the road, OPS obviously is higher on the road. I think part of that is the bigger ballpark in LA. It's a big old yard down there in LA.
Yeah, it's a field.
Yeah.
It's not a yard.
So
it's a field.
I think that's has a lot to do with that. That you go back to New York, it's a smaller ballpark at Citibank. The lines in San Diego are a little bit smaller. They're a little bit shorter, so you're going to hit more out, right? And then if you got a deep center field, it's going to make your alleys bigger. But I feel like a lot of that has to do with the size of the ballpark at Dodger Stadium. But that offense is put together for that home park.
Right.
So
of course it is.
It works. It works for them.
It's super interesting because I don't know. You think with the air quality and the warmth and stuff like that, they'd be hitting them out more. But I think we're going to see some of that in October.
They're like 5 feet above sea level.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. The balls are going to pop more this World Series. Just wait. They're going to pop more. We're going to see it. I think we're going to come down to offensive slugfests or pitching duels a lot. Defensively, they committed 2 errors the entire postseason so far. That's it. 2.
And one of them was a Manny Machado high IQ play. The other one was a throwing error by Chris Taylor off balance. So I don't think, like I said, those throwing errors, not a big deal to me.
Nah, it's going to be just fine as far as errors are concerned. Let's move on to my Yankees. Hold on. Let's get to the ivory tower. We need a minute to climb. Nah, we got a golden elevator. All right, 41 pennants. Their last World Series title was 2009. That was the year I joined the Army, Brad.
Oh, nice.
I've been retired for a minute. I got out a while ago. So that was the year I joined the Army. I always put that in perspective. And Anthony Volpe was in short pants, as Lee Lowenfish and Jerry Eisenberg would say. They're in short pants. Key players to watch, obviously, are going to be Judge, Soto, Stanton, and Garrett Cole is going to be a big deal. Although there are other pitchers that, like Luke Weaver, we definitely have to be paying attention to Luke Weaver. And if we can make sure that Luke Weaver doesn't get too many looks, and certainly not too many back-to-back appearances, he's going to continue to be okay. All right? Now, Anthony Volpe, this one blew my mind. Anthony Volpe is batting .459 in the postseason.
Wow.
Did you know that? Or, sorry, not
I
batting.
Knew that.
On base percentage. I read that wrong.
Still, that's good, though. That's still really good.
It is.
For a guy who has not been known for his bat to this point.
Exactly. Stanton leads the team in homers with 5. Soto's average is .333. But check this out. Guess who leads the team in hits this postseason? Just guess.
Guess. I would have to say, is it Austin Wells?
No,
No, he hasn't been
no,
good. No,
no. It's Glaber.
I was
Glaber
trying to
Torres has
and
11 hits this postseason,
Juan
and
Soto
then
has
Juan
11 as
Soto
well.
has 11, and Stanton has 10.
Half of those home runs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so funny.
So I think that there are a lot of role players on this team, and I think it's more balanced than we want to give them credit for. But I think that's because this ALCS was so hard fought. I think it was just hard to see standouts compared to the way we saw the Dodgers stand out. That's what I think,
Yes.
especially
So
offensively.
here's the thing that's interesting. So you look at the Yankees, their team, just straight up their batting average, right? Like Anthony Rizzo has 14 at bats and he's hitting 429. Then you go to the everyday guys. Juan Soto with 33, he's hitting 333. Volpe with 29 ABs, he's hitting 310. Gleyber Torres 297. Stanton hitting 294, and then it drops off a cliff. To go to Alex Verdugo 194, Birdie 182, but he's only got 11 at bats. But Judge is down there 160, 161, and Jazz is at 147.
I know.
That's the problem.
These guys would kill to see the Mendoza line right now. Like they just would kill for it.
They would.
And we would kill for them to creep up on it a little bit. It would just be such a big deal.
That's the thing that's such a huge difference to me is that you have to go so far down the list for the Dodgers to find anybody. Teoscar Hernandez is hitting 200, but he still feels like he's been a contributor because of the home runs that he hits. Exactly. Although it's like, well, he was missing the last couple games, but it didn't matter because you've got Tommy Edman, Kike Hernandez, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Chris Taylor, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah. I think they rely too much on the long ball. That's been part of their problem for a decade, I guess. Like 7 years at least. But this
is the thing, though, Brig, is you build a team to your ballpark, and when you have a short porch and right, not much deeper and left, you can do that.
Right. You can. I know.
And
until you got to go to Chavez Ravine.
Right, that's where you run into problems because the Red Sox do the same thing. They hit guys who can hit long fly balls into right field at Fenway, and that goes out because that's a little league field out there. And then if you got
not at right field, no, it's not. It's a
right
power
field
alley.
Is so short. It's like 305 down the
in
line.
The corner,
don't even
you
argue with me about that.
You got to wrap it around the pole at Fenway to get at 305.
I don't care. The fence, the wall is 3 feet high. You will break your knees catching a ball, catching a line drive at Fenway. I don't want to hear that from anybody.
Yeah.
But then you get right-handers who can hit line drives and pepper the monster. That's just how you build your team. And so the Yankees rely so much on the long ball because of the dimensions of Yankee Stadium. And rant.
Thank you for ranting. I appreciate that. I could barely hear you from all the way up here. So
shouting up to the ivory tower.
31 total runs scored this postseason, in the ALCS. Was that the ALCS 31 total runs scored
in 5 games?
In 5 ALCS games. Yeah, that's right. 6.23 runs per game. 17 came via the home run. That's 55%. 1 home run at least in every game, and often was the difference maker. The problem is, so we get guys on base, and that's terrific. But we either leave them on base, or we have weird base running problems, or we ground into double plays like a lot. And I am really upset about those facts.
This is going to be one of the things that the Yankees are going to run into problems with, is that a lot of guys for the Yankees, you get them on base, and they have to get moved around. They cannot make progress on their own. Whereas the Dodgers are going to steal a lot more bases. They have not stolen a whole lot of bases because they haven't really had an opportunity to. I feel like the Dodgers have been taking care of business early in the count. Was one of the things that they benefited from with the Mets. But if they don't have to take care of stuff early in the count, they can move. They can have guys who can move themselves up. And given Jose Trevino's history so far, throwing the ball to bases, trying
Dude.
to get runners. And I don't know how Austin Wells has been, but at the same time, though, I would not be surprised to see the Dodgers steal more bases because they have way more speed on the bases than the Yankees do. I would,
Yep.
and that's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge. You're absolutely right. Um, so the thing about we can't trust either of our catchers right now behind the or at the plate. Behind the plate, it becomes very clear who's a superior backstop. I think
Yeah,
Wells is far and away better defender.
right now,
That
yeah.
dude became what Jose Trevino was the last few seasons in defensive capability. He will smother everything. Nothing gets by that guy. Nothing. And
Yeah.
he'll make a decent throw. He'll make a decent pickoff throw, but it's not as good as it needs to be. And they're both literally anemic at the plate. Like, I could get uglier, but I won't because it's a family show. But it's really bad. So the Yankees' home stats just this postseason, they're batting 260, 368, 425. They've got a 794 collective OPS, 23 walks, 5 homers, 19 total runs. Okay. That's at home during this postseason. Pitching at home, team ERA 3.0. That's just a flat 3. They 10.8 strikeouts per 9, Brad. 10.8.
Pretty
A
good.
one that's pretty good. 1.28 whip and 36 total innings pitched at home. When you move to the away stats, things change a little bit. Batting 220, 328, 405 with a 733 OPS. They've got 28 walks worked, 8 home runs, 24 total runs. See, things get a little squirrely. Away
squirrely.
pitching away, team ERA 347. They strike out with 7.3 per 9, a 1.33 whip. That's over 46 and 2/3 total innings pitched.
So here's something that's interesting.
Tell
I
us.
always talk about how home field does not matter in baseball in the playoffs.
Yeah, you lie, though. You don't
It
know.
seems like it matters to the Yankees. And I think part of that, I don't think it's necessarily so much the field or the hostile environment. Yankee Stadium this postseason, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it feels like it's been loud from the first pitch.
Oh, dude.
Whoever is pitching for the Yankees, it doesn't matter if it's a ball or a strike. The entire stadium is like, yes, the baseball game has started.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't stop. It doesn't
If
stop
my house,
until the
if
game
it's
is
my
over.
house is any indication of a very fractional amount of what it's like in the stadium, then yes, we are recreating the cathedral at home.
Because that's what it feels like at Yankee
Yeah.
Stadium this postseason. Is just they're excited the game started. They don't care what's happening. They might cheer
Yep.
an opposing team lead off home run just because it means the game is underway.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but
If
yeah,
it's the first
I get
pitch.
your point. Here's the thing I want to say. First, let's get into fielding. The Yankees have committed 5 postseason errors in the field. That's 3 more than LA. For those of you actuaries who are paying attention to numbers, we've got an imbalance there. What I do think is interesting, and I'm going to look this up to double check, but errors committed does not include those 5. Do not include Gleyber Torres.
Right. I noticed that.
Make it make sense. I mean, I'm happy about it, but make it make sense.
I cannot, because it was funny because the other day something happened. Oh, his Birdie made that error. And I was like,
Yeah.
yep, that's about right. And then I looked, double checked. I was like, oh, wait, Glaber's not at second? What? Somebody else is making an error at second base?
Right.
Good for him.
Exactly.
Good for him for finding it when
amazing.
it matters. Because that means,
It's amazing.
means, Brig, that means that he's been outstanding this entire time.
He has
Because he has been so dangerous at the plate.
Yep. He's leading off and he's clutch, and it's awesome. It doesn't matter if he's coming up number 1 guy in the inning or if he's, the third plate appearance, the third guy at the plate in the inning. It doesn't matter. He's killing it. Okay. We're going to get into who you got, but I want to say something.
Okay.
Home field advantage matters. I know you don't like that. I know you think it's dumb. But with these two franchises, the long stretch that it's been between these this rivalry, East versus West. I mean, like the storylines are electric, man. The stars are going to be out. If Aaron Judge can pull it out and start actually hitting the baseball like he's supposed to, this will be a knockdown, drag out experience. But when it comes to home field advantage, I'm so excited that it's starting at Dodger Stadium because that means that we'll get 3 at home no matter what.
It's true. Yeah, I
It is
think
true.
I think the format is so wonky because I understand you win one of the first 2 games on the road, you take back home field advantage simply by math, right? If
Yep,
it's 2-2,
math.
1-1-1, by math, you have home field the rest of the way. But you have absolute home field advantage if you take one of those 2 on the road to start the
It's
series.
it's not 2-2, 1-1-1. It's
It's 2-3-2.
2 it's 2-3-2. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the part I was getting there, but forgot to get
Oh,
there.
I see.
The 2-3-2 gives you absolute home field advantage
Yeah.
by way of the next 4 games being, especially if you win that first one.
Oof.
Holy smokes, dude!
Oh yeah.
That's
I think
dangerous.
if the Yankees win game 1, then your inference, the point you just inferred is a big deal. If the Dodgers win game 1, I don't think it's as catastrophic as had the Yankees won the first game. I don't think it's as
Right?
impactful, personally.
Yeah.
And that's a huge deal because every single moment is going to matter in these games. The other thing I was going to point out really quick has just escaped me, but dang it, it was really good. It was really good.
Well, let us know when it comes back, Brig.
All
So
right,
who do you have? I mean, I'm assuming you have the Yankees,
I
obviously.
do.
How many?
Yeah,
How many
for
do you
sure.
think it's going to take for them to win it?
I think it'll go. Boy, I don't know. It's 5 at least.
You think the Yankees could get the job done in 5?
I think it's going to go 5 at least.
See, I think at least 6. Either way.
Mm-hmm. I could
And
see
so I'm
6. I want
so
5, but I can see 6.
of course you do. You probably want 4, but
4 would be great. It's not going to happen. 4 is not going to happen, but 4 would be great.
yeah, that'd be
I can see
great.
6 though. 6 is a very realistic possibility, but honestly, I could see 7 happening. Like I really could see it coming all the way down to the
Yeah,
wire. I think that these two teams are pretty evenly matched outside of the offensive capabilities that the Dodgers possess. The only thing that will swing that vote to a more balanced projection or prospect is if Aaron Judge comes with his head right. He doesn't have his head right now.
right. Yeah, no, I can see that. So I'm going Dodgers in 6. I'm sorry, Brig. I will say if the Yankees win in 4, 5, 6, or 7, I will not be sad because I will be happy for you.
Thank you.
But I have to say that I just feel like the Dodgers have the edge. It's so hard to slow them down offensively. I don't care
It
how many
is.
pitchers you have, how good they are. Ooh, they're scary. It's so scary.
And our pitching is the thing. We have the edge in pitching and they have the edge in offense. That's why I think it's going to be a slugfest.
So
Or
Yankee
it
pitching.
will
Let's talk
be
about that for just a second because I think we jumped over
okay.
that just a little bit.
Okay.
It feels like it's been starting pitching and the back end of the bullpen. What's the middle of the bullpen look like? That because that's where it feels shaky to me.
It can be shaky. It just depends on how many pitches and how many innings we've had guys out there. For instance, Tommy Kahnle went out and threw some gazillion changeups in a row. Like I think it was
Yeah.
40 pitches where it was just changeups in all of his combined, in one stretch of combined innings pitched. It was like some crazy amount of changeups, and that's all he had. But he got the job done with changeups. So again, like I don't think if the guys are able to locate their pitches and if their stuff is good, then the only thing that will work against them is if we got to have more than, 3 outs, 4 outs. It will be repetition. It will be the Dodgers being able to get the number of guys they see over and over and over again. Outside of that, I think that the Yankees, even the middle of the Yankees rotation, is fine. It's going to come down to how many looks. They're going to have to shake it up.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't feel like you can go the same guys over and over and over again against the Dodgers, because it's like, we were sitting there watching the game the other day, and I was telling my son, I was like, it's hard to get guys like Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts out 3 times in a game if you're throwing the same pitcher at him every single time. And it's going to be the same thing with relievers. If you throw the same relievers at them 3 times in this series, they're going to get you one of those times, guaranteed.
100%.
I don't care who it is. They're going to get you, because that's 3 times within a week.
Yeah.
That you're showing him what he's got.
Yeah. I haven't been able to trust Carlos Rodon until this last appearance. And then I was like, okay, not right. As afraid. Weaver's great. Cole is great. Schmidt was great. He's got a 386, a 3.86. He's at 5.8 Ks per 9. So that's good. It's Jake Cousins that worries me. Ian Hamilton's out, so I'm not worried about that. But Jake Cousins really has my... I did not like the way he showed up. And I think Leiter did great given the substitution situation. He came in and, they were like, hey, we need you tonight. It's like, okay.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know what I mean? And he came in and did fine.
That's exactly how that felt. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's going to be, I think it might, okay. If the running stays, if the offense stays the way it was in the Cleveland series, it's going to be one of the greatest World Series we've seen in a long time. If the offense spikes like it did in the NLCS, I think it's going to be boring.
Yeah. I think it'll be closer. I think it'll be a lot closer.
Too. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, because Cleveland had good pitching. The Dodgers don't have great pitching. And I know that's basically saying the same. I should just say, because I don't want to say the Dodgers don't have good pitching, but it's not as good as what Cleveland has.
No, and it's not as good as the Yankees. It's not.
No, it's not. It just is not.
Well, pitching wins championships, dude. Like, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to
I know,
every single time.
But we've also seen sometimes, though, where it's like, if you have a potent offense that can undo good pitching, you can still win, and you will.
You can. Yes, you can.
And that's the thing that the Dodgers have, is I feel like the Dodgers were just like, well, we didn't do a whole lot to shore up our pitching. Let's hope we don't have a whole lot of injuries. Oh, we got a whole lot of injuries. Good thing that offense is really good. And here they are. Here they are.
Yeah. That's true. It's true, and it's heartbreaking.
That's how it feels, the Dodgers.